OnePlus as a brand has lost a lot of goodwill in the last couple of years. Their past decisions, like giving up on Oxygen OS in favor of Color OS and removing the alert slider from some of their phones, have really disappointed their loyal fanbase. But in 2023, with the launch of products like the OnePlus 11 series, the OnePlus Pad, and the OnePlus Buds 2 Pro, OnePlus seems to be making some sort of a comeback, as these products have impressive specs and are also priced quite well. I've been using the OnePlus 11 for over 3 months now, and in this video, I'll share my thoughts on whether this phone deserves to be called the flagship killer of 2023 or not. So without any further ado, let's get started. While design is a subjective matter, personally, I really like this design. It looks unique, feels very premium, and I really appreciate all the small details present here. The materials used here are very premium, as it has a curved glass sandwich design with a metal frame. It feels very sturdy with zero flex despite being quite sleek. Even the weight distribution is done well, and it doesn't feel top heavy. Speaking of weight, it weighs just a little over 200 grams despite having a big battery and multiple cameras with large sensors. That's quite commendable. Also, in terms of dimensions, it doesn't feel too big in the hand or pocket, even though it has a large display. However, as the camera bump is quite big and off-centered, this phone does wobble when laying flat on a table. Coming to durability, this phone has Gorilla Glass Victus protection on the front and Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the back. I've been using this phone with a case but no screen protector, and so far there has not been a single scratch on this display. It is also IP64 rated, so it is dust tight but cannot be submerged in water. It is only splash resistant. Coming to the display, this is a high quality display with almost all the tech packed inside. It has QHD Plus resolution, E4 AMOLED panel, 120Hz refresh rate with LTPO 3.0, 1 billion colors, and it is also Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus certified. Also, this Dolby Vision works perfectly well in the Netflix app. You also get multiple color modes like DCI-P3, and you can also control the color temperature. However, I am a little disappointed with the brightness of this display. It maxes out at 1300 nits for a small portion of the display and 800 nits for the full screen display. Other phones using the latest E6 AMOLED panel can reach much higher levels of brightness while also being a lot more energy efficient. Still, it gets sufficiently bright to be used outside on a bright sunny day, so while this display might not be among the best, it is definitely top tier. Next is audio. Compared to my OnePlus 9 Pro, there is an upgrade as well as a downgrade in this department with the OnePlus 11. The stereo speakers are a big upgrade. This time, the speakers can get quite loud and are tuned for vocals, so songs and podcasts sound amazing. Even the bass is noticeable, and overall I really like the sound signature. Here is an audio sample. On the other hand, the microphone quality is a slight downgrade compared to the 9 Pro. It is still decent and on par with most phones, but it is just not as good as the 9 Pro. Here is an audio sample. This is an audio recording of the OnePlus 11 5G. The quality is decent, but it is a slight downgrade compared to previous generations of OnePlus devices. The earpiece and mic quality during calls is great, no complaints in this department. In terms of audio enhancements, you get Dolby Atmos support, as well as support for both LDAC and LHDC lossless audio codecs. Camera is an area where OnePlus has struggled in the past. Despite having great camera hardware, OnePlus devices like the 9 Pro were severely held back by the software and image processing done by OnePlus. With the OnePlus 11, the camera hardware is a slight downgrade, but I feel they have definitely stepped up their game in terms of software and image processing. The primary camera is super reliable in pretty much any condition. It is able to consistently produce detailed shots with minimal noise, good dynamic range, accurate white balance, and pleasing colors. As its sensor size is fairly large, it creates a good amount of natural bokeh in close-up shots as well. Even in portrait mode, it has good edge detection and produces natural-looking bokeh. My biggest issue with OnePlus 9 Pro's camera was that it used to crush the shadows, resulting in lack of details in darker areas. Fortunately, with the OnePlus 11, you get ample detail in the shadows while preserving a good amount of contrast. Even in the dark, the OnePlus 11 produces noise-free shots, preserving the nighttime look while showcasing a lot of detail and excellent dynamic range. For video, this camera can record up to 8K videos at 24 fps with decent stabilization. It can also record in 4K 60 fps with good stabilization. So overall, the primary camera of this phone is definitely among the best. Coming to the ultra-wide camera, you get good looking shots with a lot of detail packed inside. It also doubles up as a capable macro camera. However, the image processing done by the ultra-wide camera is much different from the primary camera, resulting in very different looking shots. The greens are especially processed very differently, which I am not a fan of. In the dark, even this ultra-wide camera produces very good results. In terms of video recording, it can do 4K at 30 fps with stabilization, which is quite good. So, if OnePlus just fixes the image processing of the ultra-wide camera, it has the potential to be among the best. Then there is the 2x telephoto camera. First of all, the 2x magnification feels quite less nowadays, and comparable shots can be achieved by the primary camera with 2x digital zoom. But still, it is a decent high-resolution camera with wide aperture producing good-looking shots in good light. And its image processing is very close to the primary camera, resulting in good color parity. Also, it produces impressive results in portrait mode. It offers digital zoom up to 20x and the results look decent, but a quick comparison with the S22 Ultra makes you realize why Samsung is the king of zoom. However, it is pretty much useless in night mode as the camera app switches to the primary camera most of the time. Even in terms of video, it is limited to 1080p 30 fps, so you're better off using the primary camera's 4K video with 2x digital zoom. This is how all three cameras compare side by side. The selfie camera is OnePlus's favorite 16 megapixel unit, which they have been using for generations. For stills, it does a good job as it has good skin tones, sharp details, and good dynamic range. But where it disappoints is in terms of video. Even in 2023, OnePlus's flagship phone still can't do 4K selfie videos. This is something that even mid-range phones like the Moto H40 can do nowadays. So that's quite disappointing. Coming to the camera app, I really like it. It offers a lot of shooting options like Pro mode and Film mode. You also get slow-mo, long exposure and dual view video mode. So as a complete package, I like the OnePlus 11 camera system. While it is a few steps behind the best camera systems like the S23 Ultra, it is definitely among the best in its price range. Okay, now let's talk about the most controversial aspect of this phone, OxygenOS. ColorOS. I used to really like OxygenOS, and honestly, I also like this new version of ColorOS, which is a lot more feature-packed. Unlike cheaper Realme and Oppo phones, which come with a lot of bloatware, there's absolutely no bloatware on this phone. It even retains OxygenOS features like Zen mode and the OnePlus Shelf. It has many useful features like quick launch, flexible windows, smart sidebar, and screen off gestures. I like the UI's overall design aesthetic, and there are a lot of options to customize the UI, which I really appreciate. Even for gaming, you get access to a lot of tools like FPS meter and different performance modes. OnePlus has also promised 4 major Android updates and 5 years of security updates with this phone. This is on par with the best update commitment in the Android world. Obviously, not everything is perfect with this UI. There are a few issues as well. My main issue with this UI is that it limits several system apps as well as third-party apps to 60Hz, even though this display supports 120Hz. This is quite weird and it makes the experience of using this phone quite inconsistent. Scrolling through the Instagram or Twitter feed feels smooth, while scrolling through the YouTube feed feels laggy as it limits it to 60Hz. Even a basic app like the weather app is limited to 60Hz. This can be quite irritating as you expect a flagship phone to have a buttery smooth experience across all the apps. I hope OnePlus fixes this issue very soon, but in the meanwhile, there is a quick and easy solution to this problem. It is an app called Set Edit. In this app, you need to scroll down to peak refresh rate and edit its value to 59.99 and save the changes. Now, every supported app will run at 120Hz, making the whole UI feel a lot more smoother and polished. Just remember to repeat this procedure every time you restart the phone. Like every other flagship phone, even the OnePlus 11 is powered by the latest and greatest from Qualcomm, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. This thing is an absolute beast in terms of performance. The benchmark scores are off the charts in terms of peak performance. Even in terms of sustained performance, this phone does a good job considering the fact that it isn't specifically aimed at gaming. Even in real-world use, this phone provides one of the smoothest experiences, with apps and games opening near instantaneously thanks to the new UFS 4 storage. And for gaming, this hardware is capable of running any game at its best graphics and frame rate. Like many apps, even the games are limited to 60Hz on this phone by default, but with set edit, we can definitely unlock the frame rate of all these games. So in terms of performance, I have nothing to complain about here. This phone packs in a pretty large 5000 mAh battery. Combine that with a very efficient SoC like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and LTPO 3.0 and you get phenomenal battery life. You can easily expect 6 to 8 hours of screen on time with medium to heavy use, and I never ended a day with less than 30% battery left in the tank. Coming to charging, this phone comes with a 100-watt charger which charges the phone in about 25 minutes, which is very impressive for a large 5000 mAh battery. However, this phone only supports up to 18-watt charging with non-proprietary chargers. Unlike the 65-watt charger that used to ship with the OnePlus 9 Pro, this 100-watt charger is not a PD charger. So it won't charge your laptop or any other PD devices at full speed, which is slightly disappointing. But at least you're getting a charger in the box. That itself is a big deal nowadays. Many previous OnePlus users had invested in the OnePlus wireless charger, which was super cool as it could charge the phone at 50-watt speed in under 1 hour. As this phone doesn't support wireless charging, my OnePlus wireless charger is collecting dust. Also, wireless charging is a feature that you expect from a phone in this price range. So overall, the battery and charging situation is great, no complaints there, but wireless charging is definitely missed. The alert slider is one of the most loved features of OnePlus, and it works perfectly well on this phone. The fingerprint scanner is super fast and reliable, and its positioning is also perfect. Face unlock is also very fast, but it's obviously less secured. The haptics of this phone require a special mention as they are exceptional. You even get a dedicated settings page to tweak the vibrations to your liking. In terms of sensors, you get all the relevant sensors, nothing is missing here. Even in terms of connectivity, nothing is missing. The latest standards of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are present here. However, the USB Type-C port has been downgraded to USB 2.0. So the data transfer speed is much slower now, about 1/10, and you also don't get wired screen mirroring. In terms of networks, this phone packs in all the latest stuff. So you get carrier aggregation, Wi-Fi calling, and 13 5G bands, which is great. Network reception is very good, and so I get such amazing speeds even inside my house. Alright, conclusion time. Overall, I am very happy with the OnePlus 11. This phone is a complete package with premium design, great display and speakers, insane performance, dependable cameras, feature-packed UI, excellent battery life and charging speeds, and so on. I wish this phone offered just a little bit more, like IP68 rating, wireless charging, better zoom range, and 4K video recording across all the cameras. With all these features, this phone would have been the phone to beat under 70,000 rupees or $900. But still, given its pricing, which is exactly half the price of S23 Ultra, which is the current flagship king, you get almost 75 to 80% of the experience. This is the definition of a flagship killer, and so this phone definitely deserves this title, and it is also a step in the right direction for OnePlus. Alright, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel down below. Thanks for watching.